Just help me out with a question because I don't like speaking in speech. What should I tell them about the Seven Sins series of seven workshops?
You can share how you came up with this idea and how the poverty and misery helped you to find this great.
So we can only have for sure seven. I can only afford to pay Andrea Modesto for seven workshops. And since I don't have any guaranteed revenue for the workshops, I said we'll only do seven and each 2 weeks, and not every week. And then the number seven uh, stayed a bit in my mind, and what can I associate seven with? The seven sins. It's like associative thinking. So then I said, I don't ignore this idea. Seven sins, seven workshops. Oftentimes in workshops,
Workshops.
oftentimes in
Sometimes
workshops,
in workshop.
Bogdan, can you turn off your mic because I get an echo of my voice and I have enough
Oh,
of that in
sorry.
my own mind. And so oftentimes I think in workshops, concepts like greed or pride or wrath, anger come up. And I thought that was just a happy association between being able to afford seven workshops and having the seven sins with seven themes associated.
So, what is your conclusion from the
I,
way you came up with this idea?
yeah, I told you that austerity nurtures creativity. You reduce quantity, and then you are forced to find solutions and to think of replacements or compensations, how you can compensate for lack of quantity with more quality. And I see this as a chance. If you have fewer meetings or fewer items, you can treat them with more, maybe a tendency to more make them more curated. I say curated, meaning being attentive to them, working more on what you have if what you have is less.
Yes, I think it's a nice idea.
Yeah.
In the way less you have from economic material level, the more you can be creative and more you can get from a thinking point of view.
Yes. Yeah. What else? Then each sin, how we treat it, it's not supposed to be something moralizing or something of a religious nature, but to treat them as human affects and stuff that we all go through, um, like pride, for example, and then connect it to a tool or a competency that we have in philosophical practice. And then the challenge was to associate a tool and an attitude that we talk about and we use in practical philosophy with that sin or affect, human trait. Yeah,
All right, nice. So I guess we can start.
I guess so. Yeah, I'll let you do your thing.
Okay, all right. So I would like to share some reflection uh, at the beginning of this workshop about pride. And then I thought how to link this topic to the specific competency that Alex asked me to focus on, which is problematization. Yeah, and so basically we're gonna have a first part of the session let's say, more a monologue, but you can interrupt me anytime. And I'm gonna share some reflection about this idea of pride, this capital vice or this deadly sin. And then we're gonna work together. I'm gonna give you a task and we're gonna make the exercise. All right, so I I took the chance of the workshop to study a bit, and I discovered something I didn't know about deadly sins, which I think is interesting. You know, I teach history as well, so I like this stuff. And I found out that the idea of capital vice or deadly sin were proposed by Christian monasticism in the first century. So basically, 3 centuries or 3-4 centuries after Jesus Christ, this movement of Christian monasticism proposed this idea. And at the beginning, the deadly sins were 8 and not 7. So Alex is being lucky that he has to thank Pope Gregory the Great, because in the 7th century he modified a bit this list, he reducing the list from 8 deadly sins to 7, and basically he put together sadness. Sadness was considered before a deadly sin, but now is being included in acedia, I guess is pronounced acedia, yeah, laziness, basically, yeah. And what is interesting, even from a psychological point of view, is that the 7 deadly sins represented the main disorders of the soul. And since the soul is not just something about religion, but is in a way the soul, it can be seen as our mind, yeah. You know, psyche in Greek means soul, basically, yeah. So the 7 deadly sins are 7, let's say, problem that we can have in our soul. 7 type of disorders we have. And traditionally, they are considered the 7 deadly sins, the roots and the source of all the moral evil we have in our life. For example, if you take anger or like wrath, I think is called. This, let's say, disorder leads to violence or to revenge, yeah, or lust leads to adultery, or envy leads to hate. When you envy someone, usually you tend to hate that person, yeah. So these 7 sins leads to other problem we can have, other sins, all the sins we can have. And but coming to our workshop today, among all the 7 deadly sins, we have the worst one, which is considered pride. Pride is the worst among the 7 deadly sins. So already the 7 deadly sins are the root of all the evil morality, and pride is the king of among these 7 sins. And if you remember, I think you have a Christian education there, right, Alex, in Romanian? So you should remember that in the Bible, pride was the sin by Lucifer, yeah. Lucifer wanted to be equal to God. So in a way, he considered himself superior from the condition that God decided to him. who was an angel, yeah. So he committed the pride, yeah. He was arrogant. And also, it's not just Lucifer, but also Adam and Eve, they committed pride. They didn't follow the God instructions. And if you remember, the snake tempted Eve by saying that if they take the apple from that tree, they could get the knowledge about what is good and what is bad, yeah, good and evil. So the snake promised to Eve that they will become as God, like God, knowing good and evil. So again, is the pride. So basically, the pride is the original sin, yeah, is the prototype of all the sins. And through pride we break, that's the idea in the Christianity, we break the relationship with God. In a way, since his original sin, we all have a bit of pride, yeah, we will all have this sin. Let me add some stuff, but already, if you want to say something, if you want to ask something, you can do it, yeah. Okay, you can interrupt me even if I'm speaking, yeah. And okay, so let me propose this, that pride is not just bad, yeah. Pride can have a good connotation. But before to, let's say, explore this distinction, I would like to propose to you a definition of pride, because so far we didn't say much about what is pride, yeah. So we can define pride as an excessive esteem of oneself, which implies a desire to prevail to others, to dominate the others. In a way, through pride, we elevate ourselves above others. So it's not just self-esteem, it's not just self-confidence, but is an attitude that leads to despising others. Just like Lucifer, even Adam, yeah, that they refuse their condition, yeah, they were creatures, but they refused this condition as creatures, and they wanted to become like the creator. So placing themselves above, basically, yeah, to the same level of God. But I was saying that we can distinguish even a good side of pride, yeah. So the negative pride is what we are talking about so far, is the arrogance, when you feel superior, you despise others, and concretely, if you're arrogant, you tend to reject others, avoiding dialogue, reject help from others because you're too pride, you become rigid. But there is also a positive pride, which can be considered the self-dignity. In a way, pride is the good aspect of pride, the positive pride is self-respect. Is that feeling that help us to value who we are or what we have done, basically. And also the positive pride help us to prevent situation where we can be humiliated, or to stop accepting the humiliation from others. So the positive pride is a stimulus to grow, basically, yeah, for a personal development. So I think it happened also to you when you know a person that I don't know, you want to help a friend that is being humiliated from I don't know, the girlfriend or the boyfriend, and if you care about this person, you might ask him or might ask her, don't you have at least a little personal pride, a bit of pride for yourself? So in this case, pride is not bad. It's a way to, yeah, protect your dignity as a human being, basically. Yeah. And so to conclude, there is a negative pride that divides and isolates people, and there is a positive pride that, in a way, make our self-esteem stronger and help us to preserve our dignity, but without crushing the others, so without offend the others. And so just one more thing. In a way, the virtue opposed to this capital vice or this deadly sin, from at least a Christian point of view, is a humility, is modesty, we can say also, yeah. So to be humble, and when you are humble from a Christian perspective, we, in a way, we get a realistic awareness about ourselves. We get our limits and our strong points. So in a way, from this perspective, humility implies to know better yourself and to be aware of your limits, especially. Yeah. And about this, Aristotle didn't think the same. Aristotle, he thought that humility was a vice, was an excess of in a negative thinking about yourself. Yeah. So it wasn't a virtue. He spoke about megalopsychia in Greek, which in a way is the right opinion about yourself. So if we are arrogant, we tend to have a disconnected opinion about our reality, about what we are. Yeah, we think to be superior or better than we are. But also, by Aristotle's point of view, if we are humble, it means that we don't recognize to ourselves our values. Yeah, so we think we have more limits than we have, or stronger limits that we have. So he proposed in the Ethics, he speaks about this in Ethics. He proposed the idea that we should avoid both humility and arrogance, and we should try to get a right opinion about ourselves, which means to know as much as possible both our limits and our strong points. Here, I think it's interesting the difference between a Greek point of view and a Christian point of view. Yeah, humility is good for Christians, not for Greeks, not for Aristotle. Okay, I think I spoke enough. It's not a lesson. It doesn't want to be a lesson, but I wanted to share some reflection about pride. And before I explain why I decided to propose you the task, I will give it to you. There are any comments? Any? I don't know. Maybe someone is inspired by this deadly sin. Any doubts, any questions? So you make me feel less alone. Yes, Alex?
I like the idea of realistic awareness. I think you don't have to be Aristotle to come up with that. You don't have to be a philosopher to think about realistic awareness. And it's cool that it comes up from talking about a character trait in between two extremes. So we have the two extremes of pride, and then there's the realistic awareness, the effort to see uh, which way, how far in one side we are or in the other. And I find it very relatable and real life criteria for looking at yourself. So
Yeah, yeah. But Aristotle was the guy of the balance, the philosopher of the balance. Yeah, the virtue is in the middle. Yeah. So if you have uh, the right opinion, in a way, is in the middle between this exaggeration of humiliate yourself to be humble, or to think to be better than you are. So in a way, it's important, yes, to know yourself, to be honest with yourself in a way. Here, the idea of right opinion, I think, is connected with honesty. Yeah, you don't have to lie in any direction of yourself. Not better, not worse than you are. So I think there is also this idea that we found in Socrates to know oneself. Yeah. And I guess in the dialogue, in the philosophical practice, we actually have the chance to reconcile with our own limits. Yeah, and sometimes we feel even better, and because maybe sometimes we think to be worse than we are. So in the dialogue, we help people to, in a way, to get this um, more realistic awareness about themselves. So in a way, it's our job as philosophers to do it, or to help people to do it.
because we do notice extremes. Maybe it's easier, from outside of someone else to see a compulsive or extreme behavior in someone, and you point it out, and then you bring this realistic perspective.
Yeah, yeah. And of course, to do it, Alex, it's important that we practice it because if we are megalomania, it's not easy to help people to get in a better or more realistic opinion about themselves. So some of us needs to practice more, play more humble, let's say, than they do, and some others they should reconcile more with admitting their values. So in a way, to become from this perspective more arrogant. So we need to play, and we need to be aware if we have the tendency to be more arrogant or too humble, and then we have to adjust a bit ourselves in order to help others to do the same. Yeah. That's why, in a way, to become philosopher, you have to, yeah, you have to practice more than others because you have to be more aware about yourself.
I figured you were speaking about us as philosophical counselors, that we do this work
Yes.
on ourselves and amongst ourselves, and then this is the vocabulary, the conceptual toolkit that we work with: pride, arrogance, uh, humbleness, humility, and then we create context for the people to speak about this. That's what we are doing now.
Yes. Yes. In a way, when you are too humble, that can create problem in your thinking. Yeah, for example, you have maybe interesting ideas, but you don't dare to share it with others, or you don't dare to develop them because you think they're shitty. Yeah. So this is a problem because you're too humble. You, in a way, you tend to humiliate yourself. You don't think you're good enough to be able to have nice ideas. And in other occasion, we have the opposite problem. People that think their idea is just great, and the problem here can be that they try to defend as much as possible their idea just because they have that prejudice about their ideas. So they are not able to look from outside to their ideas. And that can be a problem about pride people. Yeah. For example, when I try to do this with professors, I encounter a lot of problems because they tend to be pride and they don't like to be criticized. Yeah. But as you know, a big part of the Socratic method is criticizing ideas. But since they are too pride, they sometimes they just don't accept this type of dialogue and they abandon basically the dialogue. So the pride can be also can can make people run away from a rational confrontation. So as you see, we can have problem both in humility and in pride for thinking. Yeah. So we have to be able to deal with both of this side of the problems. And just for fun, before to go to Anka, did you spot your tendency, Alex? Do you think you are more humble in your way of thinking or more pride?
Yes, I'm more arrogant, proud of myself, and the manifestation of this is I know my idea is wonderful in my mind, so it doesn't make it justice to articulate it because then it can stay like a wonderful, great idea in my head. But this inhibits my ability to think because thinking is also speech practice. So putting speech to idea is hard work because you have to synthesize your idea and your thought and to renounce uh, to the perfection that you think you have in your mind. So greatness dissolves when you find out how hard you have to work to make some idea intelligible.
Okay, nice. So to synthesize, you're too proud to accept to de-absolutize your ideas.
Yes, yes. Ideas. I've always absolutized and idealized ideas in my mind, in my intuition, in my feeling, and not have not had enough practice as I was growing up of dialogue, of analysis, of critique, of exchange with others. So
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
really happy with the culture of dialogue that we have in philosophical practice, that it helps me to de-absolutize myself.
Yeah. And also maybe writing can be a practice of humble for you. Yeah. Because when you write, you do the same. You de-absolutize what you have in mind. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so in a way, since you notice that you tend to be more in the pride side, you have to work more in the humility and humbleness. Yes.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Nice. Anka, you were raising your hand, right?
Yes, I was thinking how excessive pride and excessive humility can go together. Um, Also because excessive pride, as you mentioned, is um, has this comparison, um, like you compare with others, and it is very difficult to sustain this image that you are better than others, because often, like Alex mentioned, you have a great idea, but then you have to speak it out, and probably you will see that your idea is not so good as you said, and then you could go on to the other extreme, like being unsure of yourself and not having enough courage to express yourself. So
Yeah, you're right. I was thinking the same when Alex said it. I said I thought that basically, even if he's in the pride side, he has the same problem of people that they're too humble to express themselves, even if the problem is different. I mean, the consequence is the same. They don't write, yeah, for example, or they have hard time to write, but the cause is different, is opposite, yeah, because humble people, they want to hide themselves. They think they are too shitty to be able to do something worthy, while Alex doesn't want to ruin the perfection that he has in his own mind, yeah. But yes, I think you're right. In a way, the opposite have something in common. They are born together in a way, yeah. And yeah, so there is a relation. And let me give you another idea about this. I often think or notice, let's say, that there is a strong correlation between these two opposites. So I, I mean, why you need to think that you are superior than others if somewhere in yourself you don't have an opposite feeling of being bad, yeah,
rather inferior.
worse or inferior, yes. So in a way, I think there is even a stronger link that I mentioned before. So usually behind an arrogant person, there is a person that doesn't have a real good idea about himself. So he have to make up a great identity for himself. So yes, I think you spot a nice point, but just for fun, in which side would you place yourself, Anka?
Well, I mentioned this because I am the one who gets from one to the other. I always
Okay, okay. So you get from the shitty opinion about yourself from the
yeah.
greater sensation feeling about yourself. Okay, so you are bipolar in
Yeah.
this. Okay. And today, in which side how do you feel? It's more great or more shitty?
Well, I'm trying to practice the balance.
Middle virtue,
Yes.
Aristotle. Okay, okay. Nice, nice. All right, thank you, Anka. I see Raluca.
Yeah, I like the idea of Adam and Eve refusing their condition and this being uh yeah, proof for excessive pride. They refuse the condition as creator, as creation, and become the creator. And I link this to the ecological crisis. uh, See it as a consequence. What can happen when people don't see themselves as creatures anymore? So when they see themselves above animals, we are no longer animals, we are above them. And this leads to the destruction of the ecosystem, basically. So the fact that we have excessive pride, we don't see ourselves as creatures anymore, leads to the destruction of an ecosystem. And I think this is a nice metaphor of a consequence of excessive pride, even in interpersonal relations, as destruction of the community or destruction of when you see yourself above others, and this entitles you to control them, to manipulate them, to take decisions for them.
Yeah,
I
yeah. Go on.
No, that's it. I link this with the ecological.
Yeah, it's interesting what you're saying. It make me think about that. Okay, you gave the example of humans and animals, yeah. And okay, now I know that we have different opinion about that, but maybe we can be also above animals somehow.
Somehow.
If you take rationality, we are above. We can use it, and they cannot. But I think here the problem is not to think that we have something more about animals. Is to I think the pride here is to think that we are not dependent on the earth or on the ecosystem anymore. Yeah. So I think there is the pride, there is the arrogance. Yeah. So in a way, that's the way a way that the pride can take. So you think you don't need others anymore. You think you can do by yourself. You don't see your dependency on other people or elements. So you, in a way, you misjudge your condition, yeah, because you don't see the relation between your condition and other condition. So maybe the problem is not to judge ourselves better in somehow about animals. Is not is We are not able to see the relation between ourselves and the world. Yeah. So we think we can do without some elements, without caring about the environment and stuff like that. Maybe that's more the sin of pride in this context. But maybe you have a different opinion about this, Luca. What do you think?
Yeah, I think my thoughts are inspired by a text I read with Isabel in the Women Philosophers readings group. Her name is
Where the women want to claim that they are better than
No,
men.
it's about the ecological crisis of reason. It's a philosopher called Val Plumwood. And she says that we are in this situation with the ecology and the situation of the environment because we do not recognize the creature within ourselves. So in a way, we only identify with reason. We have achieved this point in which we completely deny the creature, the animal within ourselves. So in that sense, it is an excessive pride because she says we are ignoring our animal. We have put it down as much as we could. And if we admit she calls it, if we admit the crocodile within us, then we would be better as humans than we are now. So in a way, it's a different idea than what you suggest. It's more so admitting both that we are a creature and that we also have reason, yes, but we are also a creature. And what does that mean for us as a human?
Okay, nice. Yeah, the
Yeah.
pride there would be the rejection of the animality
Yes.
that we
Yes.
have, basically. Yes.
Yes. The refusal of being, yeah, yeah. That's the idea of her idea, and I liked it.
Yeah, it's a nice idea. And by the way, it can go together with a bit psychoanalysis, because in the psychoanalysis, Freud says that when we don't accept some instincts we have, because maybe we are too moral or too rational, we
Yeah.
can create problem. We can become healed, yeah. And so in a way, yes, I think it's another way to put the problem. Yeah, it's not. It's about the way we look at ourselves. So if we don't accept our material consistence, our animality, we can create problem to ourselves. In a way, we think to be different than we are, or superior about what we are. Yeah. And yes, it's a nice, let's say it's a different point of view, but in a way it's the same problem. Yeah, it's from another perspective, but yes. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Luca. Now I see that many of you are hidden behind the screen, and especially who I don't know. Uh, so feel free to show your camera. How, Nicola? Did I pronounce well, Nicola?
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Nikolai.
Oh, Nicolai, yeah, I said in Italian, yeah. And Nicolai, do you have any insights about what we are talking about, the pride and stuff, before we start with the exercise? Something interesting you found, some problem or some doubts you have right now?
Sure, it's not really a extra insight. It's just I was recently reading about the psychologist Adler, whose theory about superiority and inferiority is talking about the same thing. He says that we are born with the feeling of inferiority because we are dependent upon our parents, upon the world, and that it is the engine that drives us to become better, to evolve, to learn things, to expand. And the pathology comes when we don't achieve what we want, and the psychic reacts by creating a superiority image of oneself in order to protect itself from the failure.
Okay, to compensate from the failure, basically. Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
nice idea. Indeed, we all come from this inferior feeling we have when we are children because we are not dependent. Yes, but I think it's important, and Nikolai here, to make a distinction between autonomy and this pride that takes the form that we refuse the dependency to depend on others. Yeah, and I think the make the great distinction is that in autonomy you care about yourself from a rational point of view, yeah, so you're able to care about yourself, while when you deny the dependency from others you tend to rebel from others, and it's not necessary that you are able to take care about yourself. Maybe you don't even know yourself. You just refuse the help and the dependency on others. So the autonomy is good, yeah, but it's not implied in this rebellion that we make against the dependency on others. But yeah, I think what Adler said, I think is interesting. Yes, yes. So in a way, in each failure, we go back to that original feeling of our life, yeah, and we have to compensate with a dream or with a fake identity, basically, yeah. Nice. I didn't know that, but it's good. Yes. You want to add something, Nikolai?
Yeah, the idea of rebellion is quite interesting. Uh, I'm thinking how it could fit in with this superiority inferiority paradigm or concept. I'm not sure.
Can you create a link between that idea and pride?
Yes, I think you already did that. Having an image of superiority would instill that, right? Because having a self-image of superiority could, right, make you act towards or direct the behavior towards the inferior object or person in a certain way, right? Like, let's say, the fascist regime seeing others as inferior and they have to be eliminated.
Okay, but here in Nikolai is missing the link with the idea of rebellion that you wanted to create. So where is the rebellion there?
Right. I forgot. The rebellion would be initially against God. Let's say God is, let's change rebellion against, let's say, against balance or the state of perfection in paradise. And rebellion would be the act of imbalance, of going towards some sort of imbalance that, all right, the sin of pride puts you in a superior position, and automatically the other has to be low.
Okay. And what do you think, since we're speaking about rebellion, is the root, is the main cause of rebellions for humans? Why do we rebel?
I'm not sure. Perhaps it's unconscious. Perhaps it's some sort of how did Nietzsche said resentment, right? Revenge,
Okay,
resentment.
explain, it's interesting. Can you explain why resentment can be the cause of rebellion?
Because the world hurts you and you want to impose your will upon it as a form of revenge.
Okay.
I'm not sure it all works together,
Okay.
but
Let's ask, I think it's interesting. I would like to explore a bit this. Who have other ideas beside the Nicolai proposal? Why, I mean, what the main cause of rebellion? He said resentment. Yeah, it can be actually, it makes sense. Bogdan?
So I see rebellion as failure to have a healthy relation with authority. So when you try to have a relation with authority, the two extremes are to rebel and to be submissive. And rebellion is one extreme.
Okay. So the
So,
cause, can you conceptualize the cause that push people to rebel?
so yeah, the failure to have a correct relation to the authority, to the
Okay.
authoritative figure.
Okay, can you use one word to name it?
Um,
Or if you can ask for help, if you are humble
yeah,
enough to ask for help.
yeah, I cannot think of one word.
Okay, let me propose to you injustice.
Injustice.
When something is not fair,
Yes.
you
Yes.
you can rebel, yeah? So you think things should be more fair than they are.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, yeah, why? Good. Good. And let me propose you another one that just it came up in my mind just now, which is the lack of acceptance that can lead humans to rebel. Yeah, like Adam and Eve, they didn't accept their condition, so this lack of acceptance push humans to look for something greater or to become greater than they are. Yeah. Okay, we have three different hypotheses. I think makes sense. All right. So Anka, what you wanna do? You wanna ask a question? You want to add something about this last topic or something else?
I wanted to add another
I
reason
thought.
why
Okay.
we rebel.
All right.
Um, it's the arrogance. Could be coming from arrogance when you think you are better than the other. So the other opinion. So you rebel against what the other is. I don't know if imposing. Yeah, what the other is proposing, let's say, or like um
But
yeah.
why, if you think you're superior, you you tend to rebel to what the other people are proposing?
because what you think is better, so you oppose what they think.
All right, you want to impose your ideas on others.
Yes.
Okay, so if you're arrogant, you tend to impose yourself because you think it's better what you think than what other people think, right?
Yeah, and it's a general, it's you don't really take the idea into consideration. You just thinking that you are superior, then your ideas must be, if your ideas oppose the others, then you will rebel against the other person.
Okay, yeah, it's I think it makes sense. Nice hypothesis. All right, I see Raluca, and I saw before a virtual hand that it disappeared meanwhile. But okay, Raluca, you can speak.
Yeah, I have the idea that also impotence can lead to rebellion. When you think you cannot get what you want if you play by the rules. So you rebel precisely because, yeah, you don't think you can get it if you
Okay.
play. So in that sense, it's inadequacy and impotence. So there are two things which are related, and then you rebel. That's why, for instance, poor people who are really in deep poverty, instead of climbing the ladder to go the normal way of achieving an average wage, if they think they cannot do it, they rebel because they still want to have something in their life. So in that, yeah, it's an example of
Yeah.
impotence leads to
Okay.
rebellion.
In what you're proposing, I see a specific case of lack of acceptance, because in that case, you don't accept your impotence, so you rebel. Yeah. You still want what you.
Oh.
You agree? Is a lack of acceptance, a specific lack of acceptance. You don't accept it to give up with what you want. Yeah.
It's a mix between lack of acceptance and injustice because you also consider the rules to be unfair. So in that sense, I think it's an in between lack of acceptance and injustice.
Okay, it's a mix of the two. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I see Alex, but before I saw Nikolai raise his virtual hand, so let's give him the priority. Nikolai.
Okay, what I was observing is that we tend to talk mostly negative, with negative terms about rebellion and pride, but of course it has a positive side as well. It can be used in both ways. For example, reaction to injustice, the correct and healthy reaction would be rebellion, right? And yes.
And why do you think we tend to, let's say, give more importance to the negative connotation of this concept?
Our humbleness.
Okay, or maybe because we are Christian, so the Christian
Well, yes,
we tend to
right.
be more moral, yes. Okay, yes. Alex? Oh, you want to say something more, Nikolai, or that's it?
No. That was the idea.
Okay, Alex, go on.
I just wanted to say, like Raluca's idea about impotence or powerlessness leading to wanting to rebel. And I think it describes many situations where either, or let's say, Christianity or socialism could be interpreted as philosophies of the weak or of the disadvantaged who uh, rebel against the authority, either because they are weak and cannot climb, either because they feel they are impotent. But there's a switch between actually being impotent and just feeling that you are impotent. Feeling weak, being weak. So I like that Raluca brought this weakness leading to rebellion, and rebellion being just
But Alex, in that case, you think the people that are who are pride, they are impotent or they just feel impotent? Since you made this distinction.
people who are pride, and here pride is a way of rebelling against your weakness, your perceived weakness. I think it's about being aware of your weakness and why you rebel. Help me again. Ask me again, because I'm confused.
You brought up before a distinction between to be impotent and to think to be impotent, right?
Right.
Yes. Okay. So I was wondering, what do you think are proud people? They are more actually impotent people, or they just think they are impotent and they are not?
I think they think they are impotent. I think they think they lie to themselves that they can't, and excessive pride is a way of compensation, because true weakness, true impotence, you would have to see it, to admit it, and that would bring more humility. Let's say someone doesn't have legs. That person has a true impotence, a true powerlessness.
Okay. So your idea is that the problem is more the feeling, the refusal of the feeling of impotence, that the impotence, the real impotence in itself, right?
Yeah, that we create impotence. We create the powerlessness.
Okay. And by the way, Nikolai before, I think, brought a nice explanation by Adler that maybe we refuse that feeling because, in a way, that feeling brought us back in that dependent condition we lived when we were just little children.
We refuse powerlessness. We don't accept it because we don't like to feel powerless, even if we are adults now.
Yeah, we don't like to go back in the children or baby condition where we cannot decide. We just need other people to take care of us because we are not able to do it. We
But
depend on others.
that confirms my hypothesis that we believe we are powerless. We are not powerless. We think we are. We don't want to regress to a powerlessness. We don't accept the possibility of actually being powerless.
Mm-hmm.
And then we overcompensate by excessive pride or arrogance.
Okay. Okay, interesting. Okay. I would say that it can be also a problem when you are actual powerless, like I don't know, you don't have legs. You can react in different ways from that condition. You can accept it, and you can accept that you cannot do some stuff, and you focus more on what you can do. Yeah. Either you can keep refusing that condition, and in this second case, you refuse your real impossibility. Yeah. So even in the real impotence, there is still space for different relation with that real impotence. What do you think?
Yeah, I think there's a hard ability of humans to deny their limits, to not want to accept their own limitations, even if it were something as this example I gave of having no legs, and you can remain in refusal of that situation.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Good. So now, any other comments? Otherwise, I can propose to you the task. I force myself to find a link between all this interesting topic we spoke about so far, and a specific exercise and task that is meant to train the competency of problematization. So let me give you just a couple of ideas about problematization, and then I will explain to you the task. Who is new about the practice? Can you raise your hand just to check? Okay, so Sorin, right? Yeah. Okay. So problematization is one skill we try to train through philosophical practice. There are different skills, different competency. For example, Sorim, you might notice before that I ask people to conceptualize, yeah, to say in one word what they were trying to say with a long sentence. That is a specific skill that you can train through philosophical practice, yeah, which is not easy, by the way, yeah. Some people just they have hard time to find the word that in a way catch the essence of what they are saying, yeah, because implies for example the capability of choosing among different words to see the essence of what you are saying, not to lose yourself in the specific element and stuff. Okay, that's conceptualization. And we have other competencies, and one of the others is problematization. And the main idea about this competency is that, in a way, every sentence, every statement, we can find problem about them. Yeah, in a way, there is no absolute statement that work every time in every context, because every statement it can work inside a certain area, in a certain paradigm, but it cannot work in every single paradigm. Yeah. So the idea here is to train the ability to spot some interesting problem, to challenge an absolute statement or a statement, to show the limits of a statement or on idea. And this is called problematization. Okay, is it clear, Sorin? Yes. If you have any question, don't
Yes.
hesitate to ask me. Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Give me okay. Oh, just one sec. That. Okay, little interruption, family interruption. And so the idea here is to find a belief we strongly have in our life. Yeah. So I invite you to think and to summarize in one sentence a strong belief you have that is a guide for you in your existence. Yeah. And then we're gonna try to problematize it, to find problems. And before to start, Sorin and others, before to start the exercise, let me just justify the link with the pride, because I thought a bit yesterday about this. And I thought that every time we problematize something that we believe strongly, in a way, we have to reduce our pride. We have to let it go a bit. We have to be more humble. Yeah. If we are not humble, usually we don't accept criticism about our own belief. Yeah. So the task is to find our, let's say, own little religion, and then to find a strong objection about that. And each of you is supposed to do it with his own religion, and then we're gonna check if your objection makes sense, if he has problem, if it doesn't make sense. Tell me if the task is clear. So one sentence and then one objection. Alex,
Andrea, do we use a Google Doc or do we write on our own?
I think it's better to use a Google Doc. So let me give me 30 seconds that I prepare it, so we can keep that doc during, let's say, all the course.
Yeah. And do we do both of the steps now? First,
Okay.
we think.
Yes, yes. First, you find the religion, and then second, you find an objection.
Okay.
Okay, so here, editor. Okay, so I put in the chat here the link. So please put your name before your to summarize your belief and your objection. Okay, once you have finished, please put your virtual hand up so I can see who is missing. All right, Nikolai and Anka finished. Okay. Antonia, how long do you need more?
No, I'm finished now.
Okay, good. Bogdan, how long do you need more?
I'm finished. I'm searching for the hand.
Okay. All right, so
Me too.
I guess we can start. Okay, good. So I propose we start from a person that didn't speak so far. So it could be Antonia or Sorina, that since you didn't speak so far. Or we can do both, but we have to start from one. So who want to start?
Ladies first.
Okay, sorry, nice.
Okay. Just a second, let me switch tabs.
Oh, sorry, you said lady first?
Yes.
Ah, I didn't hear lady. Okay. It's a nice way to to push the other first.
Yes.
You know that in the Middle Ages, if you wanted to please women and you were a man, you should go first to check if there were any dangers to
Oh,
defend the
yeah.
woman. But now you threw Antonia in the lake. Okay, nice. Okay,
I can also go first, no problem.
okay. No, I was joking in a way. But okay, let's start from Antonia and then we go back to you, Sorin. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so I wrote that my
Sorry, Antonia. I
Oh.
see another. I see another Raluca. Hi, Raluca. Uh, are you with us? I mean, did you make the exercise or you just arrived?
I'm sorry, I just arrived.
Okay, so uh, how can we do? I can send you the link because I don't think you are able to see the link since I posted before.
I just put it again. Okay.
Okay, all right. So,
Okay.
Raluca, I just a little summary. We spoke about pride so far, and then I gave an exercise to everybody. I asked them to find a strong belief they have and to write down in the doc. You can see the link in the chat. And then I asked them to be humble enough to find an objection that can spot some weak points in their own conviction. So
Okay.
that's the work we are doing. Now Antonia is sharing with the group her own belief, and then we're gonna check her own objection. Is that clear?
Okay.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so in this way you are with us. Good. So Antonia, you can go on.
Yes, so I wrote that my belief is that when you do good, you receive good. When you do good actions, you receive good in return. And my objection was that even immoral people receive good things in life.
Oh, say, okay. So before to examine your objection and your belief, could you give let's say that the belief is the religion that you have in your life. Do you
Mhm.
accept it? It's just
Yes.
a game, yeah? It's your religion. Which name would you give to your religion that catch the essence of the religion?
Um, I don't have the word in English. I'm just thinking about being a good person, but I cannot find the specific word.
Okay, so you have a hard time to conceptualize, basically, yeah?
A little bit.
Okay, you want to ask for help?
Yes.
Okay, okay, let's go to the group and can someone propose Antonia a nice name for her nice religion? Okay, pick one, Antonia.
Anka.
I propose fairness.
Okay, explain.
I propose fairness because it's if you do good, you receive good. It means that what you if what you do, it comes back to you. Oh, it's not very clear. Yeah, so it is fairness because if you do something good, then it is fair that you receive something good in instead, in exchange.
Okay. So there is a kind of symmetry between what you do and what you give and what you receive. So it's fair.
Yes.
Okay. Let's do like that, Antonia. We hear more proposals and then you pick that one that you like the most. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, Alex, you want to say yours?
I say exchangism.
Okay, explain.
It's a religion based on exchanging with others what you wish to have. So it's a very barter uh, uh, frame where what you want for yourself, you expect others to give back to you. So I call it exchangism, exchanging the shipment.
So you give what you're expecting to receive.
Yeah, you give good, you barter good, you want good back to prosper, to have prosperity, and it's based around this reciprocal exchange.
Okay. And you think it's the same of Antonia's belief. When you do good, you receive good.
I think it's a very it's I'm just underlying the pragmatism behind it. I ignore the morality of good as exchange goods, and I just look at this way of being um, that you only do something because you want to receive it back.
Okay. So in a way, it's a selfish behavior.
Yes,
Since
yes,
the world works like that, you give in order to receive. Yeah.
yes, and it's based on the virtue of exchange rather than good in as a value.
Okay. Okay. So we have two proposals, but we have maybe another one. Bogdan, you want to propose one?
Yes, I want to propose the idea of karma because is karma is the idea of what the action that you do in the future will come back.
Okay. So
The,
there is a link between what you
the
do,
impact.
what gonna
Yeah,
happen to you, what gonna receive.
yes.
Okay. So Antonia, oh, we have another one, Nikolai.
I propose the idea of Platonism because
Can you repeat the name?
Platonism from Plato.
A Platonism. Okay, yeah. Go on. Why?
Because there the good is considered good in itself. That is, not that you need a reward, but is the reward in itself.
Okay, we have 4 proposals. The group has been very generous with you, Antonia. And do you remember the 4 proposals, Antonia?
Yes,
Yes.
fairness, exchangism, karma, and Platonism.
Okay, which one do you like the most?
Well, I think fairness and karma are very similar, almost the same.
Okay, in a way, in the karma, there is fairness, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yes, yeah. Okay, but just maybe the aesthetic, you prefer karma, or you prefer fairness?
Karma.
Okay, so can you put the name beside your belief? So the name of your religion, karma.
Yes.
Okay, so basically, Antonia, you believe in karma. Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay, so now you were supposed to find a strong objection to your religion, and you wrote many immoral people also receive good things. And this should shake, let's say, in the root of your belief, right?
Yes.
Can you explain, just to make it explicit for everybody, why this should create a problem for your religion?
Because in my belief, it is implied that whatever you do, you receive the same energy back. But as we know that many moral people also receive good things, then it shakes the main beliefs and it makes it seem invalid. Like it doesn't happen like that. Like it doesn't depend on you being a good person or doing good deeds.
Okay, so you're proposing the idea that maybe there are other reasons why people get good stuff. It's not just karma, maybe, yeah? So there is not a real fair proportionality between the way you act and what you get. I see Antonia is frozen. Is just me, or you have the same problem?
Yeah, she's frozen. Something's happening.
Maybe it was the karma. He did something wrong. I don't know. Okay, so let's continue with the group, since Antonia will be back. So who accept this objection from Antonia to her own belief? Who think is a good objection? Okay. Antonia, we lost you.
Yes, my
Okay.
connection died.
Okay, I was asking the group who thought that your objection was strong, and I guess 4 people raise his hand, like Anka, Sorin, Alex, and maybe Bogdan as well. And now, who thinks is a weak problematization, or is not problematizing at all his belief with that objection? Wait, the others should raise their hands. There is a problem here. So,
I was trying to find the hand to raise it.
okay, but you can raise even your real.
Oh,
Yeah.
in real time. Okay.
Because I see you, yes. Okay, so you agree is a good problematization.
No, I think it's a weak one.
Can you say why?
Because I don't think this is how you should view life in general. I think you should do the things you feel like doing without expecting anything in return, because you really have no, I mean, no, not at all, but you have little power to the things you may receive.
Okay, so Raluca, let me understand if let me check if I understood. You disagree with Antonia religion, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but this is a different problem, okay? So here, we don't care if we agree or not with Antonia in a way, okay? We can discuss
Yeah.
it. We can have different religion, why not? The exercise is to find, let's say, a rational problem or like an inner contradiction, or to show that religion is limited somehow. It can value. So maybe you can use your disagreement to find a problem. So are you able to translate your disagreement in a question or in an objection that can show a problem?
Yeah. I can try.
Okay, but now before you do, I just wanted to show you that. So now you, so you accept or no the objection that Antonia made to herself, because you are focusing on the religion, but you were supposed to focus on the objection. So do you think the objection that Antonia made is acceptable or no?
Yes, I think it's acceptable.
Okay, so you agree that is a good problematization. But you
Yes.
want to propose another one?
Yes. I was thinking about the people that do mainly good, or they do as much good as possible, and yet bad things happen to them. So karma is not working. No matter how much good you put in the world, somehow you catch a disease or
Okay, let me check. Okay, so you are saying that it's true that many immoral people also receive good things, but also many good people, moral people, receive bad things, right?
yes.
Okay, it's the other way around.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Antonia, do you accept that even that objection could work?
Yes, it could work, but I think it's basically the same idea,
Okay, the idea, which is,
which is that you don't really know if karma works or not.
Yeah.
okay, so there is no relation, not a necessary relation between what you get and the way you behave, right?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Okay. Okay. So finally, Raluca, even if you have a different version, you convey with Antonia that is an acceptable objection. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So since the majority of the group agree with you, Antonia, let me ask you a terrible question. So, so do you agree that your objection makes sense?
Yes.
Okay, so since your objection makes sense, why do you keep to believe in such a religion?
Because it makes me feel better.
Okay, okay. You know how it's called? It makes me feel better in one word, conceptualization.
Um,
No?
no.
Okay, it's a consolation.
Okay, yeah.
So you use this religion, even if you know that it is not true, to console yourself. So you lie to yourself in order to console yourself. Is that Is that do you see yourself in this system?
Not necessarily. I didn't say that I don't believe that this is true, that the religion is true. It's just I'm not sure it is, so I prefer to believe that it is
Okay,
because it
okay.
makes me feel better.
Okay, Antonia. But if you think that your objection makes sense, it means that you think that maybe not always, but there are cases in
Mhm.
which your religion doesn't work.
Yes, in
Okay,
some cases, but in other cases, it might work.
okay. But what do you think? Most cases work or not? What do you think? To give a statistic, is more than 50% it works or no? Or majority of immoral people they get good stuff?
I would say maybe a 50-50.
50-50. Okay. You're a 50-50 person, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. But do you see that there is this tendency to console yourself, even if the belief might not work?
Yes.
How do you call this system? Psychological system or existential system?
Of consoling myself.
Or consolation? Through what? Consolation through?
I want to say lying to myself, but I
What,
don't think it's. I
what's the
don't think it's
problem
really.
with the idea of lie? I see you are resisting to this idea. Why? What's wrong? I mean, by the
Because
way,
it's
we did a workshop about lying, about lies, and I think lies can be even beautiful and nice. Can be a good way to console yourself. Why not? But why you don't like the idea that you are lying to yourself?
because lying in itself it's supposed to be uh, untruthful. So you're running away from the truth.
Okay, so it's immoral lying.
Yes, but also it it doesn't reveal the true nature of things, the reality.
Okay, and why do you don't like this idea applied to yourself?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Why you don't like? Why?
Um, why I don't like the idea of lying
Yes, to yourself, to console yourself.
because it means I don't allow myself to see the reality.
Okay. And you don't think it's the case, or you think is the case in your life?
I don't think is the case.
Okay, you in a way you are truthful to yourself. You accept the reality out it is without rejecting it, without negating, without modifying it, right?
Yes,
Okay. So you don't like the idea of lying because you don't think is true for in your case, right?
yes.
Okay. Okay. And since there are some people that know you, I'm curious to check with them, like Alex, Raluca, and maybe Bianca and Bogdan. Do you think that Antonia tend to reject reality or at the opposite to accept it from your perspective? So in this way, Antonia, we check your own perception of yourself from other external perception. Yeah,
Mhm.
maybe they convey with you. Yeah, we don't know. Okay, Alex.
I think she rejects reality by tactics of avoidance. She doesn't lie actively, but she avoids admitting hypotheses.
Can you give let's say a little example that proves that she does it?
When she says it depends and it's 50-50, that's a way of non-positioning and thus of avoiding admitting a part of reality.
Okay. So she's avoiding to admit the tendency, the curvature of the being that is implied in every one of us. Yeah.
Yeah, because relativization leaves everything possible instead of focusing on a dilemma to find its weak and strong points. So running away from reality by relativization is a proof of rejecting reality.
Okay. Let's go back to Antonia. Antonia, do you accept this idea that Alex is proposing you? That maybe you tend or you might negate reality, for example, by not positioning yourself inside a dilemma or a choice.
I do, because I know I frequently answer with "it depends" or
Okay.
"maybe."
Okay, so you don't like the idea because you do sometimes, and you don't like the idea to be not truthful with yourself.
Yes.
Okay, so it's another proof that you were negating reality by saying I don't like it. You were so Alex is right. You tend to reject reality. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 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 So I mean, your religion doesn't need to be truth in order to work. So let me ask you a final question. Even if you tend to reject a bit reality, and even if you know that your religion can have problems, like in the objection you pointed out, does it still work for you? I mean, is it able to make you feel better anyway, or no?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So let me propose to you that even if it is a lie or it is a kind of illusion of sometimes or often, why not? I mean, if you feel better, why not?
Okay.
You know that that's the function of most religion is to console people. Yes. So the religion is not necessarily need to be true. It needs to be effective. Yeah, with the people
Mm-hmm.
who believe. Yeah. Okay. You want to add something about this, Antonia?
No.
Okay. So before to go to Sorin, any comments, any observation about the process we have been doing with Antonia? We saw the religion, the heresy, we say, and then we played a bit between these two positions. Luca?
Yeah, I think I have an answer to why she thinks lying is not something okay to be done. Because lying is weakness. This is something connected to what she said, that lying is running away from something. So I think this is connected to pride as well. So lying, not accepting lying is a form of pride because you are not accepting your weakness that leads you to lie. So I see a connection to the topic of our discussion, that putting lying as something against your religion is a form of pride, that you are someone who would always follow the truth and are capable to follow the truth.
Okay, so you're saying that Antonia gave us a nice example of pride by resisting to idea that her religion can contains a form of lying and rejection of reality, right?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Antonia, do you accept this idea by Raluca?
Yeah, I think it could work.
Okay, you remember what we said before, that pride it can also take the form of rejecting, for example, something we need. So some reality about ourselves. For example, our limits. Yeah.
Hmm.
And so you don't like your limits, right?
Yeah.
A bit like Lucifer that didn't accept his condition. Okay, that's a bit too much. In a way, we are all a bit like Lucifer because Lucifer is a representation of pride, representation of our rejection of the limited condition we are in. So don't take as an offense, yeah? In a way, it's what we are. It's a part of ourselves, this rejection. And just for fun, Antonia, do you see this tendency, this pride that takes the form of rejection of your limits in your life as well, or no?
A little bit.
Can you show, not too personal stuff, but to show how it is it present in your existence?
Yeah, a little bit. But I mostly just feel very bad about my limitations.
Okay, so you're very proud with yourself.
No.
Wait. If you don't accept your limits, you see there is some pride there, or no? It's just the idea we said.
No, it's not that I don't accept my limits. I focus too much on my limitations, and that makes me feel bad and uh, draws me more to humility.
Okay, humility. So okay. Or to lie to yourself, to reject the condition, the limits. Or you don't reject your limits. You are aware of your limits. Yeah?
No, I don't. I think may make them bigger than they are, but I focus a lot on them and think about how bad they are.
Okay. Okay. So basically you do like Aristotle said, uh, you tend to humiliate yourself,
Yes.
which is the other opposite vice than pride. That maybe is connected, like we said before, with Luca, with pride somehow. But so in a way, Aristotle would suggest you uh, to force yourself to be more aware about your good aspect, not just to focus on the bad ones, or to see bigger your limits than they are. Do you like this idea that you should compensate your shitty feeling about yourself with more realistic awareness of even of your good points?
Yeah, I thought about it from the moment you said it, because I only knew about the Christian point of view of pride.
Okay. So you should be more. You remember the word I used before,
Megalomaniac,
No,
megalomanian.
megalomania. It means you think to be better than you are. But megalopsychia in Greek, it means that you give to yourself what you deserve in a way. Yeah,
Okay,
good and bad. So you should have more right opinion about yourself.
balance.
More balance. I don't know if balance is possible in absolute term, but to balance a bit your shitty feeling with to, for example, to recognize your credits, your good aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Worth.
That's your homework for next time, Antonia, to do it. Okay.
Okay,
Alex,
noted.
you was to say?
The word, I suggest the word worth, your self-worth.
Yeah.
As magnanimity or megalopsychia, worthfulness of yourself.
Okay. To recognize the worthy that you are. All right. Good. Other comments about Bogdan?
Yes, I was wondering if we can, when we were talking about this belief that we live in a fair world and the problems that we see, if we can bring intuition as an argument. So we can notice that the world sometimes is not just, but our intuition tells us that it's actually just.
Okay. And what do you conclude about this?
I conclude that intuition is a form of seeing the whole. And even if you say you see some things, you can spot some things that can are counter, that provoke your intuition, maybe you can keep it because you believe more that you.
Okay, yes. Many philosophers speak about intuition as the greater level of knowledge. Plato as well, by the way. If you take in the Republic, he speaks about intuition that as noesis is a form of contemplation when you see directly the ideas, yeah, which is superior than dialectics. Even dialectics is what we are doing here. But even Spinoza speak about intuition as the greater form of knowledge, yeah. But Pascal says something interesting about this. He says that we can have good intuitions when we are able to put aside our desires and our fears. So if you don't do it, our intuition usually don't work. So in a way, we need to free ourselves from these fears and desires that tend to, let's say, modify the reality, while intuition is direct perception of the reality, how it is. Yeah. So yes, intuition is important. Is important in our job, and I think it's important as a form of knowledge in general. But to check the intuition is good or bad can be the exercise we're doing to explain the link we immediately see, to explain in more dialectical way. So yeah, are you intuitive guy or you're more dialectic guy, Bogdan?
I think I'm more intuitive.
Okay, but don't forget, because I think I am intuitive too, but sometimes I have bad intuition. So don't forget to challenge your intuition to check if it makes sense or if it's just maybe a modification of your inner desires or fears. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And I don't understand why you oppose intuition to dialectic.
No, no, it's not opposing. It's if you read the Republic, there are 4 levels of knowledge, and the let's say the strongest one is noesis, which is a kind of contemplation, intuitive contemplation, and the second most important one is dialectics. Yeah, it's the mathematics way, the reasoning basically.
Okay.
Yeah, but they are not opposed. It's
Okay.
just a different level, at least from Plato perspective. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called, if you want to check afterward, after the session, the theory of the line. You can check it. It's 4 step of the knowledge, basically, for the 4 different level. It's clear now?
Okay. Yeah, the theory of
the line.
line. Okay.
Yes, yes. It's in the Republic. I don't remember exactly in which chapter, but it is there.
Okay.
Right? Good. Raluca?
I have an idea about intuition that it can be used very badly if you commit to an idea in spite of objections. So the commitment to an intuition in spite of recurrent objections, which is a religion, which is a definition, I guess, of something you consider to be a religion, is a bad use of your intuition.
Okay, so now you are explaining how we can have bad intuitions, right?
How an intuition can become bad. So if you have an intuition, but you are open to objections, then the intuition is put to a good use. But if
Okay.
in spite of your objections, you still commit to that intuition,
Yes.
then it's a problem.
What I suggest to Bogdan to don't forget to test and to check your intuition. And that's a way to check is to challenge your intuition and to see if it works anyway or if the objection makes sense or no. Yeah. But usually we don't like to object ourselves. What we have done today is not normal in the day life. Yeah. Usually we tend to protect our intuition and our ideas. Yes. But yes, I think it's a good training what you're proposing, is what we do in philosophical practice, to have an idea and then to practice this distance with our idea. Because usually we feel that our ideas is good because it's ours. It's just like our children. They are good because they are our children. Right, Raluca? You know that feeling? Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Okay.
And,
Before to go to Sorin, I want to ask you something. We are not going to through your religion because we don't have time, but still I want to have I want to ask you something about this. But I see Antonia raising her hand. Yeah.
Yes, I wanted to say something about what Raluca said about intuition, and then what you said. I think you put intuition more like an idea than what intuition is. I mean, it sounded to me more like I have an intuition, like I have an idea about something, but not as actual intuition. Which intuition should be something that you know or you feel is going to happen or you know is good for you.
Okay, let me propose you an idea by Spinoza that to have an intuition, it means to see the conclusion of a kind of reason without making each rational step. So in a way, you have a problem in mathematics, for example, and you see the solution. That's intuition, yeah? You don't need to go through all the rational single step of the reasoning, yeah? So in a way, you see straight away something in an immediate way without the mediation of the reasoning. Do you accept this idea or no?
Yes.
When you say yes, it usually means there is a problem. So
Yeah, there is a problem because to me this sounds more like guessing than than intuitively
okay,
knowing something.
let's say guessing is our intuition that is not being trained, let's say, yeah?
Okay.
Hence, you don't have any base, any training behind. But when we have intuition, like Spinoza is speaking about, you train yourself so much that you don't need to do all the reasoning again. You see straight away the solution. You see straight immediately something. Yeah.
Okay.
And we all have intuition in our life. Yeah. And when we play a sport the way we are good, we have a lot of intuition. We don't need to make a lot of reasoning. We see straight away, even because we don't have time sometimes to otherwise. So we use a lot intuition. You good with that idea by Spinoza? Yeah.
Yes.
All right, all right. So now I want to conclude with Sorin. Yeah. Now, since we have just a few minutes left, instead of asking you your religion, I would like to see, because the idea here is not to deal with each religion of you, is to show you the process, is to show you the exercise that you can even continue with yourself at home. Yeah. So in a way, you can self-consultant yourself. You can self-problematize your own religion or conviction or beliefs, and to have an inner dialogue. What I suggest is to write this dialogue in a paper or in a virtual document like this. Is a good training to detach from our own ideas, especially our own inner strong beliefs. So, Sorin, I want to ask, since you are new, what do you think about this exercise we're training, we have been doing in these 2 hours together?
It's a very interesting exercise. I think we are all doing it in a smaller level, let's say, with people around us. But it's good to problematize your strong beliefs, because there are various levels of beliefs, let's say, maybe more superficial beliefs, more deep beliefs, and it's not so easy to challenge your deepest beliefs, let's say.
Yeah, by the way, I think there is a link with your religion, because in your religion you speak about self-development that implies a certain pain, let's say, and maybe
Yes,
this is
yes,
the
yes.
case. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, but do you see the worthy of challenge yourself and to, for example, find limits of your ideas?
Yes, of course, it's worthy, and it's good also on the long term, let's say, depending on the belief you are problematizing. So
Yeah. In a way, if you are able to do it, you are more free because you're not slave or of a certain belief. I'm not saying beliefs are bad. We need to believe in something, everybody, but is good to be able, at least for a little while, to look outside that religion, that belief, to be able to criticize it, because in that moment we build our space of freedom. We get a different perspective we can use in our life in different moments. So I think it's very really real worthy, this exercise, and in a way is an important aspect of Socratic dialogue. Yeah, about maieutic. It was challenging the interlocutors by showing the contradiction, for example, in their speech. And of course, many people got mad on Socrates, but they didn't understand that was a service that he was doing for them. Yeah, but because they were maybe real proud. Yeah, because he was doing this in the in the public space with important people like sophists, like politicians, and usually if you do that with important people, they don't take it very well. Yeah, and
no.
when they can, they gonna have a revenge on you. That's why they killed Socrates at one point. Yeah. Okay, so what I suggest, since we are running out of time, that you keep, if you have just 10 minutes, 20 minutes, you don't need 1 hour, 2 hours. You keep reflecting on your own belief and objection, and you see if you spot any problems, if the objection works, and what I suggest to you to do at the end of this homework is to ask yourself, if the objection is worthy, why do you keep your religion and you don't change it, like I asked to Antonia? I think it's a nice question that's in a way invite everybody to make a paradigm shift. paradigm shift, it means that you switch paradigm, you switch worldview in a way, yeah, at least for one moment. So please ask yourself after this homework why you keep getting your religion and you don't switch to the heresy, to the objection, yeah. And okay, maybe we have just 2-3 minutes for one or two more final comments about the session. As Nikolai, since you are new, I'm curious to know what you think about, let's say, the work we have done and this approach, philosophical approach.
It's interesting. Would be called philosophical counseling, right? It would be this kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yes, I prefer philosophical practice, but you can call it philosophical counseling. Is I think we mean the same here. Yeah.
Yeah. So it would be a kind of practicing critical thinking, maybe especially about oneself, and that would be the point to learn how to practice this critical thinking in a philosophical way using philosophical concepts.
Okay, but you
Right.
know the practice, right, Nikolai?
Yeah, I'm a student of philosophy.
Ah, okay. But do you work with Alex sometimes as well, or no?
Mm, no, I don't think I know him.
Ah, okay.
I may have met. I don't remember.
But do you live in Timișoara?
No, I live in Cluj.
Ah, okay. All right. So I think you study philosophy at university.
Yeah, just finishing my PhD.
Ah, okay. Right. Okay. So nice. So we're gonna meet in the next session. Next session, I think, is Cecilia is going to lead the session about the second deadly sin. But it's just an excuse, Nikolai and Sorin, to keep working on competencies and to keep develop thinking skills, as you saw today. Okay, so if you want, we're gonna meet in 2 weeks with Cecilia, and then every 2 weeks we're gonna work on a different competency. Next time, Alex, did you decide already which competency to link to the scene?
Yeah. I wrote there in that. Let me find it's avarice. The sin is avarice, and the competency that we will work on would be conceptualization.
All right, I think okay, nice. We need to work a bit on that because it's important for thinking to be able to conceptualize. It's not easy at all. Yeah. Okay, Alex, you want to say something to conclude the session, or you're good?
Well, I invite those who are in Timișoara to the offline workshops, which are Tuesday and Saturday. Write to me if you want to join. Also, if you are curious about a private philosophical consultation, we can do 20 minutes online. I can offer you my ability to question you beyond your pride. So just to get a taste of what it's like on a one-on-one, I know Andrea invited you to do this exercise by yourself, writing, but it's much harder to when you are alone to question yourself. So I offer myself as a demo to have a question posed in a rigorous philosophical Socratic manner.
Yeah, I would say especially for new people are not familiar with the practice at the beginning, it's important to have someone that help you to practice. And Alex is offering to his competencies since he's been practicing in a while to do it. Yeah, and then you're gonna start to see the consequence, and you can maybe do it by yourself. But the beginning is better to have someone to do it with. Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
if you are not too pride, if you want to challenge your pride, contact Alex to extra, let's say, free sessions, and I see you in a while. Next time I will lead a session. Yeah. So thank you, everybody. See you next time.
Thank you,
Thank you
Andrea.
too.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye.